The WRC's 2026 season is now well and truly underway. The first round of the season, Rallye Monte Carlo, has just wrapped up, and with that, let's talk about the final standings, the records that have been broken, and the streaks that have ended. And firstly, congratulations to Oliver Solberg and Elliot Edmondson. Oliver's father Petter never won Rallye Monte Carlo. Oliver Solberg is doing that in his first full-time drive for Toyota. He becomes the youngest Monte Carlo winner in WRC history, if not in the history of the event outright, winning by 51.8 seconds over Elfyn Evans. Meaning that, as well, my first pre-season prediction to be decided is incorrect. I thought it'd be Ogier or Neuville because they have dominated the Monte with the addition of Seb Loeb in the WRC for over 20 years. But no. It was Oliver Solberg, who thanked his mother Pernilla for the driving technique in terms of modulating the throttle and brake, and drives like his father. If you have a look at his mouth being open whilst he's driving, it seems so reminiscent of Petter. He will now have to open the roads for his native Rally Sweden, which is never really the easiest of assignments. However, given what the young Swede was able to do when the conditions weren't particularly great on the Monte, you could argue that he's going to be able to do really well in Sweden as well, despite that road order disadvantage. And while we're here, let's talk about one of the stage winners as well, because if you have a look through the stage winners list for this event, you will see two stages which aren't won by Rally 1 cars. Now, last year I had a pre-season prediction that a Rally 2 car would win a stage, because last year's Rally Sweden... Well, no, sorry, 2024's Rally Sweden even, because I'm still thinking that I'm in 2025 for some reason. We had a Rally 2 car win stages. It wasn't quite that this time around, and actually it would have been quite livid, because my prediction last year was a Rally 2 would win a stage, and this time around, Matteo Fontana, in a Rally 3, won 2 stages. He won both of the morning stages. Col de Bro La Cabanette and La Belen Vesubie Molinet. He won the Col de Turini. That's right, a Rally 3 car. A car with little over 200 horses. Granted, the Fiesta Rally 3 Evo has now got what they call the performance pack. I saw the announcement from M Sport going, this is amazing. In reality, what's depressing is that's the highlight of M Sport's weekend. But still, a Rally 3 car has finally won a WRC stage. But another fact of the matter is that today marks the end of a 24-year point-scoring streak for M Sport. That's right, an M Sport Ford finished in the points and scored points for the WRC in every rally from Monte Carlo 2002 to the end of the season in Japan last year. The 2 point scoring M Sport Fords were out on the final day. Now granted, since 2017ish, the rules have changed slightly on how you classify point scorer, because it's based around the manufacturer's finishing positions, but you could sometimes use that to put an asterisk next to it if there wasn't an M Sport built car in the top 10. But even here, when the 2 Pumas, the 3 Pumas even, because Greg Wilmot's not even making the start of Sunday, but the 2 Works Pumas didn't make it to the end, the leading M Sport built car is 16th place's Romer Jurgensen. It's the end of a 24-year run, because the last time that M Sport didn't score any manufacturer's points was Wales Rally GB 2001. Colin McRae had his massive accident. Carlos Sainz overshot a junction and hit some spectators. Luckily, none of them were killed, but I think a couple of them were injured. And out of respect, M Sport withdrew the remaining car of Mark Higgins. So, yeah. That's a big day for rallying. I doubt that a 24-year streak like that will be repeated, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody finds a way to do it to keep Toyota, for example, close to scoring that illustrious tally. And speaking of Toyota, I think we need to ask, is this a display of Toyota domination? Hyundai said that their Jokers would have worked perfectly for this time around, and the lead Hyundai was Adrien Fourmeau. Yeah, 4th place. Also 6 minutes off the win, 4 minutes off of Ogier in 3rd. I have said for years, and it's something that is common knowledge and common wisdom within the WRC, you can't establish anything out of the Monte. There's so much down to luck, road position, which I would argue is also an element of luck. But at the end of the day, the first 2 into the stages were 2nd and 3rd at the end of the rally. Oliver Solberg benefited a bit through Thursday and Friday, sure. But when Saturday came around, he was able to go through a field, come back out, and still take a stage win. That is otherworldly in terms of the world of rallying. I would say that it was just that these are the 3 best drivers for the best car, for the best tyre choice, with the best luck for these conditions. Sweden might be a better tell of how Hyundai does in winter events, and obviously the likes of Islas Canarias and Croatia will be a better display for how Hyundai does on tarmac events. But especially given the issues that Fourmeau had, and especially the issues that Neville had, 4th and 5th, they're quite lucky to have those. Neville could have possibly dropped behind John Armstrong come the end of the event, if the Puma made it to the end of the rally. Elsewhere, I feel that we need to talk about WRC2 and WRC3. Leo Rossell wins after his brother Johan did. It's a Citroën win. Now, Stellantis would have hoped that it was Lancia taking the win. Both the Lancias managed to make it to the end of the rally after having to Super Rally, obviously, but both of them managed to get WRC2 points, which is good for the debut of the new car. In both cases, it wasn't mechanical issues, it was driver error. Johan Rossell ends up clipping the front right on a wall, breaks the suspension, day done, in the first day of competitive action. Nikolai Gryajan, on Saturday, goes wide, hits a tree, ends up in a field. Car, well, suspension damaged, car stuck. Nowhere else to go. But Gryajan still gets P6. Obviously, 10 minutes behind the next car, which is Chris Ingram. Johan Rossell still gets P9. 2 minutes behind the next car, Philip Cohn. Oh, and Philip Cohn's co-driver is Ross Whittock, Ingram's former co-driver. As for WRC3, it goes the way of Eric Royer, not Matteo Fontana. Royer wins over Fontana by 4 minutes at the end of the day. Giovanni Rossi also makes it to the end, 15 minutes down, but for the 3 of them, those are some solid points on the board, and it's a good job for M Sport. They're all Fiesta Rally 3s. I think they all use the Evo Performance Pack trim as well. But either way, that's Rally Monte Carlo done and dusted. The season opener for the WRC. Let me know any thoughts, feelings, or observations you have in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching and joining, folks, and as always, till next time, it's bye-bye for now.